Always great to catch up with you. We'll just start with the formalities. How the heck are you?
I'm great, G. I'm great. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. I'm fantastic. It's always great to see your smile. People can't see that famous
Yeah,
smile right now on the radio, but I can vouch for you. It's
it's a
still there.
Halifax famous smile.
It's very Hallie famous. Absolutely. Sam, you and I spoke back in the fall, and at that time, you mentioned your off-season training regimen. It was, I think, the setup that you described. You called it your redneck gym. I think
Yeah,
during the off-season, you talked about the conditioning. I think you said that you felt like you were in the best shape of your life, and
yeah.
you were training with your old teammate in Bathurst, and Olivier Galipeau. How was that conditioning translated to the ice here as you guys made your return to game action back
Yeah.
about a month ago right now?
Oh, it's been great. It's been fun, and I can really feel the 10 month of working out. You know, a little bit of everything we did. And try to mix some things up in there and do a little CrossFit. Just find something new to do to make sure it doesn't get old. And I can really see a big difference in my game and in my game shape too. I really feel good out there, and it's fun. It's fun to see how all of this work pays off.
You racked up a ton of points last year in the ECHL with Atlanta. Had a phenomenal season. What has it been like making the jump from the ECHL to the American Hockey League? I know you did play a few games with
Yeah.
Providence last year, but what's it been like making this jump full time with Providence?
Man, gee, it's crazy for me to say this, but I think last year it's actually been a good year for me for my development. I look back at it, and if I would have been here, I would have been playing on a fourth line and maybe scratch. Probably more times than other. They had a stacked team last year. They were the best in the league. They had 15 forwards that were on the two ways, or were just good guy, good forward. So I think it's just been a good year for me to play. I touched a ton of ice time last year. I touched everything. I was PK PP. So it's been good for me last year, and I can really see a nice progression this year. And I'm really happy the way I translate my game from last year in the ECHL to this year in the AHL.
Yeah, I think that progression that's been pretty evident in some of the numbers that you're putting up right now. I think it's 4 goals. You got 8 points through 11 games this season with the Bruins. And I
Yeah,
should point out 3 of those goals came in a game back on March 2nd, a
yeah.
4-2 win over Hartford, a natural hat trick. What was that night like for you?
Oh, just one of those nights, G, when everything you touch goes in. I was playing. I was playing really good for the 4 games before that. I was playing really good, and I just couldn't find the spark. Couldn't find the back of the net. Couldn't buy a goal, and then sure enough, that game I had a 2-on-1 and pass on the shot. I should have shot it and pass it, and so I came back to the bench. I was like, holy, that like you can't pass those. You need to shoot it. And that game, I guess karma got me because that game I got 3 after that, and man, it was really fun. Just come back to the bench after the third one, and I am. I couldn't stop smiling. All the guys were really happy for me, so it was really fun night actually. Yeah, fun afternoon, I should say.
Well, exactly. And you mentioned the afternoon element. It is kind of a unique situation right now because of the COVID protocols that are in place. You're playing a bunch of afternoon games, and it's in an empty building. So
Yeah,
I know you're
yeah,
a guy. You were a guy that when as soon as you got to Halifax, you became a fan favorite quickly. You loved playing in front of that big crowd at the
yeah,
Scotiabank Center. For a guy like you who loves the big show, I mean,
yeah.
how tough has that been playing in an empty rink?
Oh man, I miss it. Oh God, I miss it. It's actually really hard. Just to, like I said, just to get the little spark, just to get the little the legs going, throw big hits. You hear nothing, you just hear the boards banging, and no, it's really different. And like you said, in Halifax, I was enjoying, talking to fans, having some fun with fans, jumping in boards when they were jumping too, like. And I would say that this year we're playing in a community rink, right? We're playing in a community rink, so everything is just different. The ice is smaller, everything comes quicker. The boards are sorry, tougher to get hit into. So yeah, everything is a little different. It's there's a fight, so there's been a couple fights, and usually when there's a fight, everyone is just pumped. Everyone is pumped that there's a fight. The crowd is into it, like it just gives you momentum. And these days there's a fight and we're just like, oh God, that must have hurt. That must have not feel good.
You can hear every punch.
Exactly. You can hear every punch, and you see the guys that are scratch or he's bleeding, and you're like, oh boy, that's a tough one. Usually it would be pumped. We would see that and we'll be, oh yeah, let's go, that's good, that's nice. But now we're just, hi, yeah, it's different.
Absolutely. We're talking here with former Moosehead Samuel Asselin, having a great season down with the Providence Bruins in the AHL. And Sam, right now, kind of a similar situation to what the Mooseheads are going through when it comes to the schedule. Tonight, this will be the 12th time that the Moose play the Cape Breton Eagles. Seen a whole lot of the Eagles. They've seen a whole lot of the Islanders. They played the Islanders 11 times. And I've been looking at your schedule. It's pretty similar, I think. You guys
Yeah.
have seen a whole lot of Hartford, a whole lot of Bridgeport. You talked about the fight and, the kind of the strange environment there. Is there much animosity? What are some of the challenges there for yourself when you keep seeing the same two teams over and over again?
Well, first of all, I'm just happy I have all my feet right now. It's really it's a chippy game out there. I gotta say there's I shouldn't say cheap shot, but there's a lot of late hit. Late stick hit, late hit. Those facing all the time the same guys. You get to know him, you get to know what he's like, you get to know what he likes to do, what he doesn't like to do. So it's pretty hard. We get hit all the time. Everyone is finishing his check. You're not passing on an occasion to hit somebody, that's for sure. Like I said, there's been a few fights, and the good or the bad thing with this is like if something bad's happened in the game, you're gonna see them next week or next game. So it kind of guys are getting like pretty chippy, like I said, but at the same time it's still like if something bad happened, you're gonna get like somebody's gonna come at you, or like it's kind of an old time hockey right now we're playing. I haven't really been playing a lot of those, but I gotta say I'm playing way more hockey than I'm being a rat out there. That's for sure.
I was shocked to hear that. Shocked to hear that.
Actually, yeah, I am shocked to say that too. But I am. I'm focusing on hockey right now. It would be too easy for them to hurt me.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. There are obviously quite a few guys that you'd be pretty familiar with, guys that you're facing off against. And I mean, like I said, you're seeing a lot of Bridgeport. You're seeing a lot of Hartford right now. And on that Bridgeport team, pretty familiar face on that team in Arnie Durando. Have you seen Arnie, much of Arnie on the ice, and is there much chirping going on?
There's not been much chirping. We were just happy to see each other. We've trained this summer a little bit together, but like I said, we were just happy to see each other, see how everyone was doing. And I guess the the competitive side took a bit part of it, and we were both two competitive guys, so there's been a little icky there, little bumps in the road, but I still like Harneal a lot.
You got another connection by association to a player on that Hartford team, and I'm just wondering, have you had a chance to chat with Morgan Barron at some point? Because we heard from Justin Barron quite a few times. He's talked pretty highly about you. He talked about how he's tried to kind of emulate some of the leadership qualities that you brought to the Mooseheads when you came over back in 2018. And like I said, he really looked to you as a bit of a role model for sure. You've been playing against his older brother Morgan, who is with that Hartford team, and he's having a great year as well, like yourself. Are you trying to get under his skin at all?
I'll be honest, I am not. I am, like I said, I'm focusing to play hockey right now, and I haven't realized that it was his older brother, to be honest. But now that I know, maybe I'll just get in touch with him. Just chirping him a little. Just see how he's going.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. Speaking of, I guess, guys that you, the opposition, a guy that used to be a face that you would square off against back in the queue, and I hate to bring up some bad memories here, but you and again, Mooseheads fans are going to hate me for this, but you are you're now playing on a line at times. You're on the same team with Jakub Lauko, who was, of course, a big part of Ruan Aranda's success back in 2019. I'm going to assume that Lauko is a guy that you'd rather have on your side than facing off against.
Oh, absolutely. And it's funny that you bring it up, because this morning he just bring it up too, that we were just chirping in the room, and he just brought up that he won twice against me in final. So and he actually brought the other stats that they beat us 8 times out of 10 during the year. So it's actually funny that you bring that up, because he was just talking about it this morning. But no, he's really good. He's impressive this year. He's way better than he was in the queue. Because actually, when he was in the queue, I wasn't too sure about him. But this year, he really brought his game to another step. And God, this kid can skate. He can skate. He has wheels.
Absolutely. You kind of mentioned here that you're not really trying to play that pest game that we have
Yeah.
seen at times from you. Of course, you had quite a few layers to your game when you were in Halifax, because when you arrived here, that was kind of the way that you were billed. You and I talked a lot about that early on. Then, of course, you went out and you put
Yeah.
up about 48 goals, I think, in that season, your overage year with the Mooseheads. So again, focusing on hockey right now, it sounds like, I mean, how would you describe just the style of game that you're trying to bring to the Providence Bruins lineup night in and night out?
I am trying to play just a really two-way center game, just a 200-foot game. Right now, everything I can't say anything right now. Everything is going well. I play a lot. I'm playing on PP. I'm killing by times. I'm there when there's a big face-off at the end of the game. I just want to be that reliable two-way centerman. I'm on the third line right now, third line center. I can't play against anybody in any team. So I just want to be that guy. And, for the other side of me, like I said, right now I'm really focusing on the hockey, because it's a contract here, and obviously, next year I'm without a job if I don't sign anything. So, I really want to get things going and, play hockey as much as I can. But for sure, I got the little rat, the little pest in me, like you said. It's still there. It's still in me, and it will come out. It will come out for sure in the pro hockey. Last year it did, but this year I really try to focus on playing a good, simple, efficient hockey game.
And I think when you and I spoke back in October, we had you on for a game between the Mooseheads and the Acadie Bathurst Titan. You had talked about Yanni Gord, and that was
Yeah.
a player, of course. Yanni Gord, very skilled player with a bit of an edge to his game as well, with the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I think you said that the Bruins management, they wanted you to kind of focus on a player like Gord. Is that still kind of something that you're trying to
all
emulate?
all the time, and obviously at the rink, everything is about hockey. So there's always, all of the TV, it's NHL Network, always all the time there. So anytime I see a guy like Gord playing up there, I'm just trying to watch him. And he actually had a 4-point nights the other day. So he has his little skills in his game too. Like he can play offense. He's on the PP this year too. So it's certainly someone that I look up to, and I want to try to get my game to his level, or a little similar to what he does.
Right. And I mean, obviously for yourself, you're looking for that contract for next year, but hey, I know you've always set your sights pretty high. So I'm assuming a spot with the big club at some point. That's got to be on your mind.
At some point, I go, like my agent always said, it's a marathon. There's 42 kilometers there, and we're not sprinting here. I'm just jogging all the way through, and I'm glad I can play hockey for a living right now. I'm really happy that that's my job, and hopefully I can do it for as long as my body can. As long as my body can hold it, and that means that maybe someday I'll be able to jump into the big league, But for now, I'm really just focusing on one game at a time, one period at a time, one shift at a time. Just give it my best here, and let's see what the future has for me.
Well, we're wishing you all the best. We know there are big things in your future, as always, Sam. I really appreciate you taking some time for me. This has been a lot of fun, as always. So
As always,
thanks again for doing it, and good luck the rest of the year, man.
no worries, G. You're the man. Thanks again.